Greetings and welcome to another video. Today is Saturday the 4th of April 2020 and I'm on the cycle path which back that way takes you back to the Woodbridge Inn pub where I made my previous video today, and going along that way takes you to Jackfield and Ironbridge. And I was cycling along in this direction when I encountered this sign, and it looked really interesting, so I thought I'd stop and make a video about it. Now, by the looks of it, the sign has been uprooted, so it's not in its original location, but I figured I'd stop and make a video about it anyway. The Ironbridge Gorge World Heritage Site. Coalport China Works. The intriguing brick structure which you can now see across the valley is a bottle kiln. It was once at the heart of a thriving china works which began life in the late 18th century in Coalport. In such kilns, the delicate porcelain pieces were carefully stacked in saggers, which were tough fire clay containers designed to protect the wares from the direct heat and smoke of the kiln. Making the saggers was a specialist job in its own right, and the clay base was usually beaten into shape by an assistant called a sagger maker's bottom knocker. The fashion for drinking tea, coffee and chocolate from the late 18th century meant that there was a great demand for fine china, and Coalport became a hugely successful name. For more than a century, it supplied local and national needs, as well as exporting its products all over the world. Today, the restored workshops, kilns and warehouses have been turned into the Coalport China Museum, where the story of those historic events and the people who made them is vividly conveyed. The new town of Coalport. Before Coalport and the China Works came into existence, the land at the edge of the River Severn was little more than poor meadow which scarcely supported even grass. In the 1790s, William Reynolds, the most imaginative and enterprising of the Shropshire ironmasters, had the idea of creating a new town here. In 1793, he completed his Coalport Canal, which linked directly to the River Severn. This had always been the main artery of transport for manufactured goods and raw materials associated with the gorge industries. William Reynolds saw his Coalport Canal connected to the main section of the Shropshire Canal higher up at Blist's Hill via an astonishing engineered construction called the Hay Inclined Plane. Still considered one of Britain's foremost industrial monuments, the inclined plane is some 305 metres long and regularly moved large volumes of goods and materials in minutes across a difference of levels equivalent to 27 locks. By 1794, the basin at the Canal River interchange was being referred to as Coalport. Soon, wharves, workshops, warehouses and workers' cottages followed, and the new town of Coalport had begun to grow up. Moore's Tile Works. On this side of a river, a short distance from where you are standing, another industry using clay was established in the late 19th century. Moore's Tile Enterprise moved from nearby Benthall in 1883 to set up a purpose-built factory in Jackfield, which subsequently became the largest in the world. The factory took advantage of the new manufacturing processes as well as the transport opportunities offered by the recently opened Severn Valley Railway, the former line on which you are now standing. The tiles they made had designs of different coloured clays burnt into them, known as encaustic tiles, and they became highly fashionable in Victorian times, finding their way into churches, schools, and many other buildings at home and abroad. The scene today. Although the River Severn still reminds us of its power and unpredictability when it floods, the area is largely tranquil and unpolluted today, all industrial activity having long since ceased. The River Severn's edge itself supports a variety of bird life, including kingfisher and the winter passage of goosander on its way further upriver to nesting sites. Beyond the bottle kiln, you can see Haywood, comprised mostly of larch, and behind you is the ash-dominated woodland called Preen's Head. Immediately in front of, hang on a minute, do apologise for mispronouncing things. Immediately in front is an area of traditional meadow known locally as Boat in Field or Werp's Field. Werp being a word from which wharf is probably derived, meaning at its simplest a river embankment. The field is now promoted as a wildflower grassland where species such as cowslip and common spotted orchids will thrive. The surrounding managed hedgerow and scrub habitats are also invaluable for butterflies and birds. Right, here on this sign is a list of accommodation, hotels, guest houses, beauty spots, cafes, and various pubs. And also, like next to this sign, you've got a nature walk footpath. Severn Gorge Countryside Trust, welcome to Preen's Head, 01952 433 880. So there we are. Right, so that's basically this sign that's clearly not in its correct location, but still a very worthwhile point of interest to stop and pay attention to. On that note, I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to get back my bicycle and cycle that way toward Jackfield and Ironbridge. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all soon in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.